Oh,
Hey, what's up, guys? Bob McMaster's here for the Bob Randall and Company live preview show for a Monday, episode 18. This is June 5th, 2023, and I want everyone to please say hello to the most illustrious, nicest guys I mentioned before you'll ever meet, magical Randall Santa Checker Lee.
hello, everybody. Thanks again, Bob. You are just too nice about that. Great to see everybody. Welcome again. Can you believe it's Monday already? Man, it's like boom, a blink of an eye, and that week was over. TGIM, like I always say, thank God it's Monday. Or goodness, one of those things. It depends upon how you like to talk. But
That's
yes,
right, and it's show time.
it's showtime. Da-na-da-da-da. Well,
I love it, love it, love it. So, we got a little bit of rain last night, kind of snuck in from the opposite direction. Most of our systems moved west to east, but there was a low pressure system below us. It spun it back up over from the east to the west. They had called for a 20% chance, and I think all of North Texas got a pretty good. Well, I know we got over an inch last night, so nice and sunny and cool, but boy, did it bring in some, I assume, mountain cedar from South Texas, which was really bad down there this time of year. And when the winds pick up out of the south, it blows it up here and just tears everybody up. So I think we're all suffering with a little bit of hay fever today, but we're gonna make it through it, Randy.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. You're sitting up here to me, Bob. You're sitting up here to me. It's coming out.
So
Well,
how's your weather today?
man, we have had the most glorious week and a half that I can almost remember. It has been lower humidity here in Michigan. We've been in the upper 70s, low 80s, 50 to 60 degrees at night. It's like, man, it has just been, thank you. It's been incredible. And of course, I'll tell you about our week last week for campfiring and out late night camping. Man, it has just been glorious. The only problem is, like I said last week, I got new gutter guards in my gutter and all replaced, and I don't know if they even work. So I got to wait for another week yet before we're gonna have rain to see if they're all cleaned out. So, but I can wait. I don't mind. I don't miss the rain. Well, I do need it. I don't want to water the lawn.
Don't want to jinx yourself.
No, no.
Right. Let's go ahead and move on along to that big old burger. We talk about something burger, hot topics. Let's do that right now. Wow, real quick, let's do a shout out to everyone who's watching with us today. Randy, looks like Adam's with us. Gary Linder's here. Charlie Johnson, Chip Willett,
Nathan's
Rex Ray, of
here.
course, Kimmy Claus, Joe Steppen,
Can I say something about Kimmy
Nathan
Claus real
Vanderbroek.
quick? Excuse me, Bob. I don't mean to interrupt. I want to say
Hey,
something
Santa
about.
Bruce is here.
I excuse the interrupt, but I got to say something about Kimmy Claus. I want to make sure on the way home, she went to the CPW up in Michigan and on the way home, she hit a deer. So she had a little accident late night. So everybody, she didn't get hurt, thank goodness, but her car is just didn't survive real good by hitting them deers. They are pretty solid. So
Yes,
give
they
everybody
are.
for a little prayer for and to help out with the car and everything.
Yeah, and her
Sorry,
vehicle had
Kimmy.
to be put on a rollback and drug home for a piggyback there on the wrecker. So sorry to hear that. Good thing is she was okay. The car can be fixed, and
Yep.
that's what's most important. So
Got some great viewers already, like you said, Bob. I tell you, I love it. Hi, Jeff. Great to see everybody.
it's
Wonderful
good
way
to
to
see
start our
Bruce,
Monday.
Garen, on with us today, Kotovich, and Adam. It looks like Bart's joined us. Hi, Bart. All right, let's go ahead and get into this first question. This is something burger hot topic. As always, we have a couple of questions we pose to you, our viewers out there, to help you kind of give us an idea of what you think about these. Give us your best answer, and we're going to go ahead and let Randy go first.
Alrighty, guys. It's just again like I've been kind of doing the last few weeks, kind of a just a quick question and what how you guys handle these situations. And you guys have been creating some great answers. What do you say, or what do you do to a family member that says to their child, "You're afraid of Santa, aren't you? Aren't you afraid of Santa? Oh, isn't Santa scary? What do you say to the mom, the dad, the brother, whoever that actually puts that thought into the child's mind? Now, it's to me that's negative reinforcement. It really concerns me when a parent says, "Now he is Santa is scary, isn't he?" Don't say that. No, But so then, what do you guys say to the family member when you hear somebody do that? I'm just curious. You guys always have such phenomenal answers.
I say double whammy. Double whammy. Number one, shame on the parent for saying that. Number one, shame on the parent. Number two, for thinking, letting the child think that they would bring them to see someone who was scary. It's kind of a double whammy.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing good about the phrase at all. It's just such a negative reinforcement to the child. Then of course the child starts thinking, and again, why would, like Bob said, why would the parents, aunts, uncles, whoever's bringing them, grandparents, to somebody that's scary? So you're not taking them to see, Jason or whatever those guys from the Halloween movies are. We're Santa. We're filled with love and care and hope and happiness. Just because white beards and the red suits, we're not scary. But
Well, maybe they want Santa to earn his money because now puts it back on Santa to reinforce to the child that we would never do any harm to any child, not anyone for that matter, and that we love all children. And, I mean, it just makes our work a little bit harder. But the good thing is knowing that, and when the child leaves, hopefully we have reinforced the belief in Santa, the love, hope, and joy that Santa has to pass along, and they'll go tell their friends, so their friends won't be scared when they come to see Santa.
yeah, I see Charlie's got a thing. Charlie said, ignore the family members. Talk to the child in a calm voice, and even if they're 5 feet away. That I see. That's the whole. That is great, Charlie. Then you start when they're that far away. Just They don't have to come sit on your lap right away. They don't have to stand right there. Just and you're just softening, letting them know in your sweet, Santa voice and everything, and reassure them that everything's fine, and don't, it's definitely and usually it starts when they're that far back, and next thing you know, they're getting the picture. If you do it the right way. That is great. And the next one after
Charlie,
Charlie is.
Charlie says initially, oh, internally, I want to smack the parent.
I will second that sometimes. I shouldn't say that, but
Hey,
um,
as long as it's in here and we don't let it out of here, we're okay.
right.
We can think it,
We keep
right?
that in our inside voice. We do. We keep
Yeah,
it going.
inside voice.
And good old Rex. Hi, Rex. Didn't see you there earlier. Rex, good to see you. He says, "Oh, mom, dad, brother, whoever it is, said if um, you are such a kinder,
Kidder.
such a
Kidder.
kidder. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to get new glasses one of these days, or get younger, and I know that's not gonna happen. Um, teasing can get you on the naughty list. What a cool way to turn it back around. Um, you
So
don't
do
have
not
to
tease
tease
like
like that.
that.
Oh, very good, very good. So you're turning it back around on the parents, like they're going to get a naughty list for saying something they shouldn't say because they're lying to their children because we aren't scary.
Oh, and Randall, there is a third solution.
Oh,
It's called LASIK,
oh, thanks.
eye surgery.
Eye surgery. Yeah, I should do that or a bigger monitor, one of the two. I think that might be
Yeah,
something I might need. Ah,
yeah.
I do have one that I can use. I have one of those, smaller TVs. I think I'm going to put up here and so I can read these things because man, I feel funny doing this, but oh, but it's well, that's great. I mean, really, that is a good one to turn it back on the parents. And Bruce,
What
oh,
gr-
here comes Bruce. Hi, Bruce. How are you? Hope you're feeling well, Bruce. Hope you're feeling
what great
better.
exercise it is, though.
Yeah, there you go. It's good. Actually, that's the only exercise I've been getting all day. We missed you there over the weekend, Bruce, but I know you were there. Just as long as you're feeling good. But Bruce says some parents use us. That's right. They do. They use us as that to make it better for us. To, they think we're going to be the we're going to teach the children a lesson or something. Santa and
Disciplinary.
Mrs. Claus are disciplinary techniques instead of being them being a parent and taking the responsibility. Can I give a huge, 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 huge applause for that? Because so many parents don't want to and don't become parents. It's like, coddle the little ones. And I mean, we love our children. There's no doubt about it. We want them to be happy and we don't want to discipline them. We don't want to, them to be mom and dad, be mad at mom and dad. But, they need structure. They need understanding. So definitely, Bruce. Okay, back to it. I'm sorry. They even use elves on the shelves as their discipline, because, yeah, that's, they use them as the disciplinarian. I agree. You are joy. We are joy and peace. We remind them what is possible, and it's never too late. Of course, it's never too late to become good. Um, that's why we check the list once, twice, and I always make a comment to the children that said, your dad, I had to check the list 4, 5, 6 times, many, many times because dad didn't always, so I put it back on dad as being, if dad's there, of course. Um, and I see who the next Facebook user is. Has never. Okay, that is Gary. Hi, Gary. Um, has never happened. Okay, well, thank goodness, buddy, because it's not a good thing to hear. But I wonder just to ignore the adults and deal with the children in a friendly, loving manner, and that's sometimes like Charlie said earlier. Just be Santa. Just be
Yeah.
Santa. Just talk as you're sweet, loving, and then everything that mom and dad said for that you'll be scared will hopefully just disappear into space because all of a sudden they realize that, man, we love the kids. We love the little ones. Oh, I said the word kids, didn't I? I should say children, right? I get reprimanded for calling them kids, right? Isn't I don't know if that's a big thing anymore, but I remember for many years we weren't allowed to call them kids.
No,
Um,
but Billy Coates, lives matter.
I'm sorry. Okay, I gotta get back to Billy Goat's Life Matter.
Sorry, guy. I
So
couldn't
would
help
that be
myself.
BLLM then?
Yeah.
No, BGLM then.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna get off the rail here in a minute. Um, but it is. What I mean, is there something else you would say, Bob, or is there something you would how you would deal with?
Gosh, Randy, really, I mean, like I said, you kind of have to, immediately nip that off before, the child freaks out, coming to you. And I think Charlie put it best is, try to catch them as they're coming towards you and body demeanor and everything means something when a child's looking and, you can see if they're scared and if they're apprehensive. And I really
Right.
think that, that it makes it a little harder on us, but I think that all of us have the heart of Santa and Mrs. Claus, and we all have done our due diligence on homework, on sharing ideas, on going to the different schools, and I think that everybody's pretty much prepared for what for what they get thrown at them, and it's one of those instances where I really think that most of us it instantly kicks in, and we just try to soothe them. Reinforce the fact that Santa's the good guy. Hey, I'm the one that puts all the good stuff under the tree for you all these years.
Yeah.
Why would I ever be scary? You know,
Yeah. And sometimes it depends upon how the children are. I will actually make a comment. It depends not often, but to the moms. Now, don't say that, mom. That's a negative reinforcement. If you have to say apprehensive, because the children don't even know what apprehensive means. So that's just perfect, even though you're
yeah,
saying it. Um, so it's and then like Bruce has got another comment. We got to keep in mind that we are sometimes called the family mediator.
yes,
It is
yes.
mediator, right? Yeah. Um, so yeah. So and we are. We have to.
Play many roles,
Yeah.
wear many hats,
Yeah, I have. I got a whole roll of. Oh, not that kind of
be
hat.
be, be diverse in who we are. So I mean, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and see what Facebook user says. Sad but true. Charlie said, "Yep, sad but true." But we are. We are the bliss. Sometimes a disciplinarian or the one that says, "Hey, look what Santa's not going to give you anything if you're bad." So we gotta kind of use it. I guess that's the
Yeah,
worst.
that's when I come up with the answer that I've done away with an audio list altogether, and I use a nice list that has merits and check. checkpoints for the good things that you do. And the more checks you get, the further up the list you move ahead of those who aren't quite as good at what they're doing as you are. And, each time you move up, you get a little bit better gift. It's worth something. It's worth being good because you are rewarded for your goodness.
Yeah, I was like you made a comment. You said you've got rid of the naughty, and I say the list, and I will tell the children now. You know what list that is, and I won't say the naughty nice list. I'll just say you know what list that is, and I check it
Yeah.
once. But I try not to like you, Bob. Try not to say the word naughty or nice, but the list. I check the list, but not. So I think Ben's got something here. There's a lot of people on the naughty list, lawyers and politicians. Okay, we are going there again, aren't we? With the BL, never mind. Billy goes, life matters, and we're going.
Oh, very good. All right, looks like we got a bunch of really good answers there.
Fantastic, guys,
Nice,
as always.
guys.
You are incredible, folks. We are so blessed with you guys.
And again, this hot topic, something burger is something that we brought into this show to help teach. It's a teaching moment. It's a sharing of ideas and philosophies, and you guys just knock it out of the park every week in and week out. Okay, Lowell, let's go ahead and move along to our second question, and that would be, when do you think you will give up your portrayal of Santa and Mrs. Claus? This is something that we've all got to face someday, maybe. Is that day a day that will depend on health and mobility? Would you still find a way to be viable even if mobility becomes a big challenge? I know some guys have the scooters. Uh, can you get on set without the children see you riding up on a scooter and get into the chair if that's, the type of work you're doing? Do you do home visits where you park your scooter out front and, try to make your way in? Depends on, I guess, your challenges. Uh, would you consider transitioning to do virtual or video recorded calls if it came to that? So just kind of trying to get an idea. This was a question that was asked about, when do you know your time is up? And so we thought we would throw that out to everybody today. Now I know that Rex just got him a mobility scooter, not a scooter, but a chair. He'll be whizzing around. Spanklin and I was joking this week about look at it, Branson, because Rex is going to be coming down the hallway in his mobilized
Mhm.
wheelchair doing 90 to nothing. So we're going to have to get him a horn if
And a
there's not
helmet.
one already on there.
Better wear a helmet.
Yeah, and a helmet, knee pads, elbow pads, wrist pads, a seat belt, a
You know what? Instead, I
roll
think
cage.
we're just gonna wrap him up in bubble wrap. So if he falls,
There you
he'll be
go.
safe.
There you go. Let's see here. Bart says health and mobility. Yes, looking to build a virtual business for the second phase of Santa. Perfect, Bart. That's exactly what we were looking for. And I think that is a great option for a lot of guys when they get to that point. Still be viable and valuable to the Santa community and to the children, and still be able to, you know, uh, have fun, do what's in your heart, and make a few dollars along the way if you can to help support yourself. Facebook user Ray Bradshaw says, hopefully that is a long time off. Yes, Ray, let's hope it's that case for all of us. Because again, as Santas and Mrs. Clauses, we're doing a very valuable service that is, just full of history. I mean, look at all the men and women who came before us that has laid the groundwork for us to do what we do. We owe them so much gratitude. And the guys that's been in the industry for years and years and years that pass along all the information that they pass along to the rest of us when we're getting started. We all have a place in the community, and let's just hope that we're all able to continue on for years and years to come.
Yeah, and it's not going to be easy. I can't, regardless how you're feeling, if you're riding a scooter or your health is, how do you give it up? How do you give up something that is you that you just that's just I mean it's got to be a rough decision. And like you said, maybe if you do the virtual or something, you can prolong it, or extend a couple. I shouldn't say prolong, extend a couple of years. But man, it's got to be rough to know when to hang the coat up.
Yeah.
It's also got to be
Yeah.
painful. It's got to. I would think it's got to be unless you're physically you're whatever you can't. But yeah,
And that's what happened to me when I was racing cars. Was my passion, was my life for years. I spent every spare penny I had, every spare moment, around racing. And I knew that someday it was going to come to the point that I wasn't physically going to be able to do it anymore. Some guys can go on in their 70s and 80s and still race. There's some that are. Some of us cannot. More than anything else, it was me trying to stay hydrated. I was having a really, really hard time, no matter how much fluid I would put in, get to the point that I would almost need to go to the emergency room at times to get an IV. That's how bad I would dehydrate. Hot fire suits, hot cars, exhaust. I mean, everything about it is just it's like an oven. But I had this idea that when I did give up, I was going to pick up another hobby. I could go back to fishing or other things that I had done as hobbies in my youth. But Santa was always there in the back of my head. And so after sitting around and moping around for a few years, thinking how terrible is this? I can't do what I love to do. I found another passion, and that was being Santa. Now, do we have another passion left in us somewhere down the line if we get to that point? I mean, is our health going to allow us to pick up another passion, another hobby?
Yeah.
Those are all questions.
How do we fulfill the same thing when we move on? How do you fulfill the joy, the love, the feeling? I don't mean to be negative, but how? How? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I mean, you might love to fish, love the golf, but if you're fishing and golfing, you could be probably still doing Santa,
yeah.
really. So
What I'm
it might be just like you said, Bob. When you're just physically, I think, I don't mean to, what, uh, uh, I think Ben said it when they can, my dead body, his corpse is done. That's when I'll be done playing Santa. When I'm done, he's going to play it until the end. And that's it's how do you give it up? How? So
Kimmy's got a great answer here. I think when I no longer remember who I am, even if I am not mobile, I could write letters, make phone calls, or videos if I cannot get out. That's a great point.
yeah,
And take up crossword puzzles, maybe, or something to that effect. But again,
yeah. I mean, there
uh,
are other avenues that we could do as Santa if we can't physically get out, if we have mobility problems. It's going to probably get down to if you're just physically health wise. If it's just you're too sick to go on anymore, that's
Ray says our buddy Gordon Bailey set the bar very high. Yes, he did. Bart says also there may be a time to help assist my replacement. I have not ruled out that phase of being a Santa. Another great answer. Thank you, Kimmy. Yeah, it was a fun hobby, something that consumed me, but it was something that I really, really, really loved from a very small child. And, hated to have to give it up. It tore me apart, but I've moved on. And hey, being Santa is a happier place. Racing and golfing and fishing, some of the other hobbies can really humble you. They can really set you back on a bad day. Racing, even on a bad day, was a good day. So,
and also, isn't this safer, Bob? I don't mean to say anything. Isn't this safer than going 120, 200 miles an hour? Isn't this a little safer for you?
well, yeah,
I'm just saying, even flying in a sleigh is safer than those tracks, isn't it?
yeah, there is safety built into the racing portion of it. Like I said,
Yeah.
a 6-point harness, the fire, double, triple air fire suits, the roll cages, the padding, but yeah, you got a point there, Randy, for sure. Bart says Santa since the 1990s, like a lot of us, there is a role to help the next generation of clauses. Very true, and that is what these shows are really all about: is helping not only guys that's been in the industry forever. We can learn a little piece, nip, tidbits here and there that we can take. And we've learned a lot this year on this show and Tuesday. These shows just seem to continue to give, and so, very good point there. Bruce says this is a difficult question to face and answer. I agree with Randall. There is a special exchange of energy that we receive through our calling that other activities cannot give us. So true. Very true.
And I had no problem with leaving the food service business, being in the kitchen after 40 years. I had no problem hanging up the apron and the tongs and everything. It was like, see ya, I'm glad I'm out of here, Not even a heart, boom. I was dancing out of there knowing I was done. This is not going to be that easy, but like Bob said, how when do you then personally know? Is it when you have a scooter, when you have a cane, when you, yeah, but yeah, so it's hard to know, and I think that's going to be an each individual thing. Um,
You have another great point on the food industry. We were in the barbecue business for 10 years. I had our own family barbecue restaurant. That's the most demanding, longest, hottest, hardest job I've ever had.
that's
Just so tough to be there so early in the morning, work through wee hours of the morning to get prepared to open up the next day and carry on. It was demanding, very demanding,
yeah.
but rewarding at the same time, but very demanding. Okay, so Gary Linder says, personally, when I cannot be mobile any longer, I will give it up. Very good point.
Yeah, so it's probably more of a and some want to stay a little longer, or like Timmy and them said, do virtual, do phone calls, do something like that, that you might be
Yeah,
still be able to still, and it might be 5 visits or 5 things a year instead of 50 like you used to do. Um,
yeah, exactly.
but
Hey, and Gary looks like he could probably run a marathon. He's still got plenty of get up and go in his giddy up go. So, all right, Randall,
wow,
fantastic.
fantastic, man!
Thanks
Thank you, Jim.
everyone for your input on that. These are always fun to discuss and talk and get everyone involved in answering these questions. Absolutely love these segments. Kind of hate to move on. Wish we could just do that full time. Maybe we make a show out of just uh, we got enough on our hands. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the trivia, santascloset.org, and we'll be right back.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Santa's Closet is under new ownership. Let's welcome Santa Wade and Scarlett Kaufman of Tennessee, whom will continue the tradition of bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Don't forget to visit their sites at santascloset.org and support their efforts of bringing quality products to the community. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
So this is going to be fun. A little Billy Bob Thornton movie trivia here. So Randy, shoot that question out there to them and see if we can confuse them.
We know, guys, you love the fill in the blanks. That is such a popular question. Are you ready for this? There's a lot of blanks again on this one. Are you ready? This is from a Billy Bob movie. In the hit movie Bad Santa, with Billy Bob Thornton. Blank was the only anchor store that appears in the blank blank mall during the movie, and was fictional. It was fictional. The space used for blank was in Del Amano Fashion Center. I think it's Del Amano. Is that how you pronounce it? Del Amano Fashion
Yes,
Center.
Delamano.
Former blank blank store. Wow. Fill in the blanks, guys. It is big time. The blank was the anchor store that appeared in the blank blank mall during the movie and was fictional. It was a fictional mall. The space was used for blank was Del Amano's Fashion Center, former blank blank store. Whew.
And again, it is a little confusing. So let me see if I can kind of help everyone out on this. Bad Santa, the movie, blank, and then in the blank mall. Those are the fictional names that are used in the movie. Both the blank and in the blank mall are fictional names. The real name of the center is the Del Amo Fashion Center. and we're looking for the former store that the first blank really was in real life. Why did I ever pick this one?
Wow. Yeah. So it's the name they named them all. What they named them all is what the basically the first thing is. Um,
Diane's doing good there.
Very good. But got one. We need to fill in all the blanks. Very good. And I see Kimmy's got a good one there for what you asked, Bob. Also, you could be a mentor. And that's like Bob said to help out the future ones
Yes.
coming. Sorry, I just saw that. But yeah, it's a good one, guys. This is a good question. Fill in the blanks. I know we get a get a lot of people talking about fill in the blanks, but
And we'll give you another clue. The first and the space that was used for is the same name. It's the fictional name actually. The only real name in there was the former store.
so that was the only real store was the
Yeah.
former store, but
Yeah. So we're
it,
we're not monkeying around here.
it was a two-name store. So yeah, it'll be fun to see what the answers. We got some going. Yeah, and of course, great gifts from Clausnet. Always, as always, always. That's actually that ring came from Clausnet. Where did I got it that way? That way. That one came from Clausnet, and actually that came from Spangle, and that came from Fancy Lee's.
Fancy Lee's. Absolutely. All right, guys, y'all work on that. See what you can come up with. Uh, the IMBD, is that the name of the website? That's where I got that off of. If you go in there and put Bad Santa, I'm pretty sure it'll give you every bit of that information all in one paragraph. If that'll help guys out any on their research.
And that
All right,
final
so
store, I'm sure everybody's gone to that final store. It's not open anymore. To give you another little hint. Sorry, Bob. I
well,
apologize.
it's not, and like I said, we're not just monkeying around here. So, all right, let's go ahead and do
Give you a
the
little bit.
exit side of this, and we'll be right back. All right, just a footnote here for the Up and Chatterbox News. We want to say that Santa in the Business of Being Santa, professional technical training school for Christmas entertainers, and our instructors and our support staff want to thank everyone for all your condolences with the passing of our founder, Gordon Bailey. I am successor, uh, master instructor. I have helping me out on this journey going forward is still Chrissy Kovic, Rex Ray, Chuck Moore, and Keith Alton. And just to remind everyone, it's going to take a little bit of time to regroup here. There's some things that we have working that's going to be so exciting. I can't talk about it. Wished I could, but just look for classes forming in your area, and uh, looks like we may be rolling out very early in 2024. So just stay tuned, and we'll give you more on that as it develops. Also, want to mention Gordon Bailey's memorial service is this weekend, June 10th, this Saturday in Honey Grove, Texas. Church of Christ, 403 West Main Street. For those who may want to still come, 11 a.m. Central Time is the start. If you plan on sticking around for the food and the festivities, the stories, the camaraderie, and everything that's going to happen over at Chris and Scott Martin's house, Chrissy Kovic, you need to RSVP so they make sure they have enough food to cover everyone. They live directly across the street from the church. Their address is 308 West Market Street. That is also in Honey Grove, of course. Donation to Gordon Bailey's Memorial Fund is still coming in, slowly trickling in. We want to give a very heartfelt thank you to everyone who has given. You have helped take the load off of his final expenses, getting preparations for him to send him, to finalize everything. Let's put it that way. All right, Randy. Tell us about your weekend. This is a point where we want to talk about CPW and Jingle Joy.
Wow, what a time. Starting last Thursday. Heck, that was their Wednesday night. A lot of us were. up in Rothbury, Michigan. Santa True came and Thursday and Friday and gave us our classes on the Christmas Performers Workshop. Wow. I mean, the stuff, little things that you can learn, and it's little things, even just like stage presence. How much more regal Santa can walk by stepping heel and toe, and just little things like that that just help refine your look, your attitude, and everything else. The class was filled with laughter, filled with get-togethers on learning how to rile up the crowd, and it was just, I mean, that was Thursday and Friday. But that wasn't it. At nighttime, we had barbecues and everything else, and stayed at the campsites till 11 o'clock at night. And we don't know if we should post the one video where the police came one night on Tuesday night or Wednesday night to see what was going on, and then they said, "Well, come on back. We're gonna have a barbecue." So the next night they come back, and they're doing the reindeer Macarena with us, and they're singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the local police department, and it was just crazy. I don't know if Santa True was really used to all this stuff going on with maps. We're kind of there was over 60 some people there. We had 66, I believe there was. So that was Thursday and Friday. Then Friday night we had a talent show, and our maps members put on a 2-hour talent show. Um, Santa True did, of course, his storytelling, which just, man, when Santa True does storytelling, you just visualize everything he talks about. And I had fun doing magic, and Kimmy and Kathy did a little silly little skit and dancing around, and Michael Howard and Bruce, and they sang with Charlie, and Charlie played a great harmonica, man. Good job, Charlie. That was so cool. And Phineas, I mean, just we had so many great 2-hour just volunteer act for us to watch an evening show. Then Saturday we had golfing, and we had a craft table to do, and I did a thing we can grab and go how to do a magic trick, the little picture thing. I did a session on that, um, and then we had movie by the bonfire Saturday night. We watched, Tim Allen's TV Santa thing. Incredible weekend, incredible. Just 7 in the morning till 1 at night. It's just like Branson's going to be. It's just nonstop. And we all came home on left after time with Mel. Thank you, Mel, for giving us a service on Sunday morning. Then a little get together, and then we all dispersed and came back home. But what a weekend! I mean, I was telling Bob before the thing. I mean, I love the classes. I mean, you learn so much, and your mind is just filled. But I came back to the cabin because me and this young lady, Chris, and her husband, Chris, and his wife, Kimmy, and Tom from Toledo, we shared a cabin, an outside cabin. Kind of looked like from those Jason movies, to be honest with you, the way it looked, a cabin in the wood. But I won't go there right now. But I come back at like 10:30 at night. Next thing you know, it's 12:30, and we're just still talking about stuff. And I said that this is the most amazing thing about getting together is the fellowship and the camaraderie and the talking about things you've done, things you've done, and ideas like we do here on the Something Burger, just sharing ideas and sharing things. It just, so I came home exhausted yesterday, loving every minute of it.
And you got home late, but I think Santa Mel got home even later. I know
And
she
Mel
didn't
got
get
home
home
even
till
later. Yeah,
3
she's
this morning. Yeah,
3 this morning, and like I said,
her and
poor
John.
Kimmy, she had those reindeer are pretty. It wasn't a reindeer down there. It was a whitetail probably, but it wasn't a
Yeah.
reindeer. But so yeah, but yeah, Mel got home at 3 in the morning, leaving from here in Michigan. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys, it's only a Michigan thing. Way down to Arkansas, but also, guys, to let you know that we are lucky here in Michigan. Kimmy accepted a job. Kimmy, excuse me, Mel accepted a job in Battle Creek, Michigan. So Mel and John, her husband, will be moving up to Battle Creek, Michigan. So
Wow.
We get Mel up here. She's leaving Arkansas after all those years, and she's moving to Michigan. So I hope she becomes a cereal liker because Kellogg's is based in Battle Creek. So hope she better like cereal because that's what the city does. So even that's not what she's going to do, but
Cool stuff.
yeah, just incredible. I just thank everybody who was there. Just a wonderful, wonderful time. Just crazy. I mean, just it, I'll talk more about that on my little magical moments, but yeah, it
All
was
right. Well, hey, that was great. Let's go ahead and talk about some upcoming guests and shows that we have, Randy.
wow. Here I go, man. It is a list again, getting longer and longer and amazing every week. Just tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is really a special show, guys. June 6th is a special show. Is the scholarship show. Uh, Mel and Spangle and everybody are going to reveal the winners of scholarships. So it's going to be a real special show tomorrow night, and of course, some very very happy winners are going to get some stuff. So there'll be some great, very unique guests. Rex will be here, and probably Scott will be on, and everything else. So don't miss Tuesday Night Live tomorrow night. You'll see all that for the School of Santa scholarships. Then June 13th, man, middle of the month already. June 13th will Julia Cracky. Again, that is the Santa vest that beats any Santa vest you will ever. Thermopyro, any vest. I was talking to some people at over the weekend at the Jingle Joy about them. I said, don't miss Tuesday night because you're gonna hear all about it. It's nothing like anything you've ever seen. Don't miss it. So again, it's especially they go, is it just this thing? No, it's specially made for Santa, specially made for. So you guys know, but you're gonna find out more on June 13th. June 20th is Carl White, the blue-eyed Santa. Carl's has been a Santa for very long, but has a lot of great experience. And he's from GA. Yeah, it's great to have a Southern accent. Oh, wait a minute. Bob's got a Southern accent, doesn't he? Now, Bob, are you a Southern or you're a Western accent?
I'll probably say Southwestern.
Southwest.
I don't know, man. I speak Texican.
Texican. Okay, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, is there a difference between Southern and Western? But okay, that's good. But don't miss Carl. Carl did some phenomenal things years ago with virtual also. So he really was really into. He did some great jobs there. But so don't miss Carl on the 20th of June. June 27th, Bruce Katowicz is going to be here. Like I said, I cannot say enough about Bruce. He is incredible. That voice, what he's going to teach us about taking care of ourselves. And what he's done professionally, teaching at Charles W. Howard, and of course being a professor and everything at the University of Ontario in Windsor. So yes, he's a Canadian, but it's okay. He's okay. Good old Bruce, man. We had at the Jingle Joy, we had I think there was 6 people from Canada. We even had somebody come from California, not just Santa True, but it was fantastic to see all across the United States coming to Michigan for that. That was great. But don't miss Bruce on the 27th. I mean, you'll be blown away. Like I'm gonna say it again. Sorry, he's gonna tell him to talk about Carnegie Hall. He's going there. I would love to be on this. Just be on the stage. It would be just give me chills. It would give me chills. So sorry, off track again. Then we get into July. Yes, July 11th. Jackie Chamberlain. And I love that line, just simply Mrs. Claus. But she's not simply Mrs. Claus. She is a professional Mrs. Claus entertainer for many, many years. Super talented, super amazing. Stories that will just bring it right to your heart. And besides, some things that you'll not just think about, you'll giggle your what off. But don't miss Jackie Chamberlain on the 11th. Yes, the 11th of July already. Then, boom. Branson's happening. We all know that's a 2-week deal in Branson. So they're going to be live Tuesday Night Live shows there. That's for 2 weeks. Man, the 13th through the 16th, and then the 20th through the 23rd. Bob, Scott, Angela, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be incredible. Rex, everybody's going to be there doing some stuff. Of course, all you fantastic people. It's where of course, we know that's where the entertainment and the business blends together and education blends. And we can talk about his school. Too much fun. And I'm thinking I didn't get any sleep there. What am I going to, Bob, how are you going to do 2 weeks? How are you going to do 2 weeks?
It's going to be tough. Going to be fun. Going to be wore out. We're, for sure. And of course, what you don't see is the behind the scenes stuff, setting up the audio visual, setting up the sound, PA system, which Scott is supplying most of that stuff. He's a DJ and has phenomenal amount of equipment. be assisting him with that. Of course, we've got to load and unload Spangle store, pack everything in, pack everything out. I mean, there's just so much. All the food have to travel back to Springfield about 35, 40 minutes, uh, two different trips to get the food that we'll be bringing back for the week. So not enough room in the kitchen for 2 weeks worth of supplies. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
going to make it two trips instead of one. I mean, it's just so much that goes on. And in the school itself, checking folks in, running errands. I mean, it's just, and cooking, the hot dogs and burgers. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be wore out, but it's going to be fun.
That was
But
my job the other night. Was on Friday night. Was to cook the burgers and the dogs on the grill. It was great. It was great. That's my job. We all
Scott and
took
I do
turns on the
that,
grill.
and of course, AJ has uh, donated his time to help us there in the between the kitchen and the grill and the things there, helping. He's going to try to help us load and unload some stuff. Now, tomorrow night's show, back to the tomorrow night show, we will be talking about the instructors, what their agendas will be, talking about the shows, everything Branson. So tomorrow night will be a full show, even though we don't have a Q&A like we normally do. We'll still have Rex and Mel's going to fill in and give us, some backstories and things that they experienced from last year's. What I didn't put on the schedule was July 4th. July 4th is the Tuesday Night Live 100th live show, and so we'll be doing a celebration that night. Of course, celebration of America and the freedom. But Randy, you didn't mention, man. I was waiting for you to mention that favorite word.
That word is that favorite. Can I say that my favorite F word? Free. Friday night free. It is free every Tuesday night, guys. So don't miss all the education. I mean, Monday's free. Tuesday. Oh, look at that side. Oh yeah, it's free. Oh, I love it. But is don't forget, guys, all this information, all the time that we, Bob and everybody puts together, we just it's just all done because we care about the business and you guys taking time to watch, and it's just phenomenal what you do. But we all know that it's free, and I wish the word could get out more that it's incredible. All this education, all this fun, all this joking around, um, and sometimes some real heartwarming stuff, and it's all for free on
So,
Facebook, on StreamYard, on YouTube, anytime you want it.
quick backstory on the little visual here. My wife came to me after last week's show, and she says you need to make a sign for the free when Randy mentions that favorite F word, and you can put up.
And then I don't say it.
And then you didn't say it. Oh my goodness! But I coursed you into it. So
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, all right. Oh, fantastic, man! It's the show just keeps on giving, and we're so happy to be part of it and to be able to do these Monday and Tuesday shows. And we couldn't do it without you folks. We always like to say thank you to those who support us, stay behind us, and chime in and put your comments in and everything. Greatly appreciated. All right, trivia answer. Now, this tough question, and we did have a winner. And again, let me go back up here and kind of read it real quick. In the hit movie Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton, blank was the only anchor store that appeared in the blank blank mall. That is Chamberlain's. Jackie should have known this. Uh, Chamberlain's, and the answer to the mall was Saguaro Square. Those are fictitious names. Those are movie names. And of course, the next blank, which is the space appears, the space used for Chamberlain's, again, repeated the same word, was actually Del Amo Fashion Center's former Montgomery Wards. That was the clue. We're not monkeying around here.
That was
And
a
our winner is
Diane.
Diane. Very good, Diane. Good job. Good job. Fantastic. I still am unsure on how to pronounce her last name. I think she told us one time, but I am terrible at names. Uh, would it be Vane? Diane Elizabeth Vane, I believe is how you pronounce it. Diane, if you want to put a pronunciation spelling of it in the comment boxes, it would be
Ben.
Vin?
V E
V-I-N. Vin. 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 Vin.
N.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Diane. So sorry for botching that up. Gosh, names come from all around the world and they're all unique. Hardest thing in the world to try to pronounce names that you're not sure of.
Oh, it was nice. Diane put the phonetic spelling VN. She puts it. That's very cool. That makes it
V-N.
easy to very good.
Good job. Good job. All right. Congratulations, Diane. I will get, I don't know if we have her address, Angela.
One on the TNL show.
Okay, so we've got it from the TNL show. So I'll send that over to Wade and Scarlett and get you something goody coming towards you. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone for playing along. The trivia, questions on Monday and Tuesday are kind of part of the fun that we try to have. And I know I make them hard sometimes, but hey, it's fun.
It was
All
easy
right, and
last week or 2 weeks ago. You had a very easy one on Memorial Day.
yeah,
So
yeah, sometimes, not very often anymore, but sometimes. You know what I feel right now? I feel this
what?
magical moment coming on.
Ooh,
You ready?
ready. Hello, everybody, and thank you again for letting me take some time here on the magical moments. Last week we talked about how magical our mind is. Like I said, that's the most magical thing we have, because the imagination, of course, our thoughts and everything, our dreams, can become anything. Um, and of course, this weekend that I went to the Christmas Performers Workshop, it made me think about how just magical what we do is and how magical our backstories are. We don't need props for our backstories. We just need a cool, magical backstory. So once you find out who you are as the performer, as you decide what kind of character you want, like if you're a more Victorian Santa, if you're more a whimsical, funny, silly little clown like Santa, you find out who that is. Then, of course, you make your backstory, how you want to say you met Mrs. Claus or whatever. And then those stories, when you tell them to the children, you get that sparkle in your eye and you get that talk. And that just telling those stories to the children, they're mesmerized. They're like, just you tell them, oh, Mrs. Claus and I met by the fountain, right? Oh, there was a polar bear over there. And you can make the whole story just the words that we say can be so magical to the children without props. And that's something we sometimes have to look into our hearts and minds more than anything, that we don't need. I mean, I love using props. There's no doubt about it. I love them. But I kind of tell them this weekend, it's like it's our performance is so magical. Of course, our suits and Mrs. Claus's outfits are breathtaking, incredible, and just to see the way Santa looks is it. But when we start telling the story about how our sleigh flies, or 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 how many elves we have. Oh, how many elves you have? Oh, I have 276,342. Now, some do candy canes and some do this, and you can just take those things and just stretch them out so the children, they can just be like so excited about what you're saying about your backstory, or just telling them about you, because they want to be with you. They love Santa. And of course, they want to love you as Santa and Mrs. Claus. So when you make your backstory, when you make your presentation back, that is just as magical as doing a magic trick, just as magical as anything. So don't forget that. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but a week ago, I put a post out for to like a little challenge. Actually, Bob put it out, but I think it's a phenomenal idea to come up and use your imagination, because we have plenty of time now. Between now and, of course, we start probably in November. Well, Christmas is 202 days away. And of course, that's magical how that is getting smaller and smaller every day, but it's getting closer and closer. So we really have to take our time to make sure we hone in on those things. So when the children ask us those things, that we can just be our ever loving character, or we know those words just like the back of our hand, or like our real life. I'm I know how to cook an egg. Oh, I can tell you, you put in a, you can tell a whole story about how to cook an egg if you cook, but you also then got to be that easy about your backstory about Mrs. Claus, or the elves, or how your sleigh flies, or how you get the stuff in, how you get the presents in the bag, or how you use the naughty and nice list. There's so many things that we can make just when the children hear it magical. So that's something we have to think about. And so I kind of posed a little thing earlier last week, and Bob did, about making using your mind about making up stories and taking something basic like a prop. Well, I looked around again around the house and found out this is just a magic prop. Again, it's sponge balls. Everybody's seen a magician make a sponge ball disappear and reappear in your hand. Well, I'm thinking, like, what can I do to that besides what a magician does? Well, I don't want to do magic like that for a children. So um, I bought them, and I think a lot of you probably use these anyway. But then you do, even if you just produce one of these out of their ear, or you take it out of a bag or whatever. And of course, now this becomes the beginning of a complete show for the family if you're doing a home visit. Well, now all of a sudden, it's Rudolph's nose. It's Rudolph's nose. So you take your little Bluetooth speaker or your cell phone you bring, and you get everybody together. And of course, you start playing Rudolph. So now you just took a sponge ball from a magician. You didn't really do probably any magic, but you turned that little ball, sponge ball. You get a child to walk around and they follow him. Even if you want to do what are those, the locomotion train around while Rudolph is going on, you can do something as big as that. But now you took a little sponge ball, made it complete, take your imagination and make a complete routine on it. From, if you're wondering what you can do or need to do to fill time, boom, you took, boom, this to made it into a complete thing. I showed Saturday at the Jingle Joy the coloring page that I do. I showed them how to do it in 30 seconds, or I showed them how to take it and make a 5-minute routine out of it. So you just take your imagination, like I said last week, and do it. So again, we're going to challenge you again. We'll talk about it in a few minutes again. Bob was going to, but find something. And I've had one fantastic one sent in already to us. So, but our imagination, and of course, what very magical is what I did over the weekend. I learned again. And I've been in entertainment business since I was 13 years old. And Thursday I'll be 66. So you guys can do the math. I just did my first birthday party at 13. So you can do the math. I won't say how many years. But you always can learn something. I just thought about it when Santa True said, remember, when you walk heel toe, it makes you walk more regal. Wow, I never thought about doing heel toe walking when I'm Santa. I just walked. But man, it made a difference when you did it and walked. So just those little things can up our game so we can always learn. And that's what's magical to me. And then we can take it and make it magical to our guests, to our children, to the families. And that's what we're all about, to bring in life, magic, love, hope to them. So guys, thank you again so much. I am so fortunate, so lucky I get to say these things here. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Remember, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Good job, Randy, as always. Fantastic. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so and we will talk more about this magical props challenge that Randy has here towards the end of the show. But for right now, let's go ahead and jump into the Santa's flight checklist. So today, let's talk about today's on today's Santa flight checklist. Let's talk about pre-season hair care. This is something I get asked about quite often. Pre-season hair and beard care is something that is a must for some, and others have naturally turned white and or gray. They call it natural beard, and don't have to worry about processing. Now, processing, of course, is taking the color, leaching the color out of the strands of the beard. Whether you do your own processing or the Mrs. lends a hand, or you go to a trained hair care professional, it is something that no one looks forward to. It's not the funnest thing. The smell, depending on what products you use, can be really bad. Burn your eyes, burn your nose, your throat. Of course, the tingling and the burn to the scalp and to the face, especially the face. The face is quite not as tough as your scalp, a little bit more tender. The things we do to make our portrayal the very best we can, and is a must for many. Remember, the darker you are, the earlier you want to start the process. Don't wait until 2 weeks before you start your gigs or a week before you start your gigs. This is something that you want to step out ahead of, something you want to try to do. If you're solid, dark, if you're new into the industry and you've got dark hair, you want to be sure and start 6, 7, 8 weeks ahead. The last thing you want to do is, wait and then not be quite the way that you want to be. It will take usually a minimum of 3 times processing to be, as the poem says, white as snow. If you have red in your beard, that's also a problem. Red beards or hair, it takes more than 3 rounds usually to get the leaching of the color out and get to that pure white look that you're looking for, or something close to it. Get started weeks before showtime because you do not want to over process and lose valuable strands from breakage, or even worse, completely fall off. Your beard or your hair. Those are your money makers. Those are what makes you the look that children see. Of course, your heart is what makes Santa, but your look is important too. Wait at least a week between rounds, and remember to condition, condition, and condition. Cannot over condition. Be sure and use, and this is very important. This is something that the ladies at Sally's had passed on to me a number of years ago. But use a pH balanced neutralizing shampoo after you uh, do the process. When you get in the shower to wash it all out, be sure and use a pH balanced neutralized shampoo that stops the leaching process. It cleans it off your scalp and face, and that way it doesn't continue to leach. A lot of times, if you just use a regular shampoo, it can continue to irritate and leach, and that's something else that causes damage. Remember to use, if you use a blow dryer, to use it on low heat or cool. The last thing your scalp and your face needs is hot, extremely hot air blowing on it after you've had that solution on for however long you leave it on. Some guys leave it on 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes, depends on what works best for you. I recommend that you start in small steps and learn how far you can go. For me, I can leave mine on a total of about 45 minutes. And as you can tell, I'm pretty white. I do get the dark spots around here and in the crown of my head. But again, I use a very low volume and dilute it down, and so it's not as harsh for me. I also use a pre-treat oil. I don't know how many of you use pre-treat oil. You get coconut oil, you get all kinds of different oils. Ion makes a little tube, a little clear bottle, plastic bottle of pre-treat oil. I mix one of those in with the solution. Mrs. Claus does. She does my hair. Mixes it in with the solution, and the one item that the guys don't know about, all of us that's been doing this for a while do know, sweet and low. Sweet and low is very important. It takes the burn, the tingle, and just makes it much more pleasurable, not having all that going on at the time that you're doing. Avoid the burn and have a plan before the season will help you have less stress pre-season. Happy bleaching. Thanks, everyone.
That is so necessary. Um, because I mean, I have to bleach. I start bleaching in October. I get it bleached. 2 weeks later, I get it bleached again because I have it set out. So it's usually 2 3 days before my first performance, and then I get it bleached again. So it's 3 times before it gets snow white. Now, the lady explained to me that what it does is it draws all the color out of the center of your hair. So basically,
Right.
hair follicles are like a tube at the
Like
end.
a straw.
So that's why they're so delicate. So the conditioner kind of fills that in and helps them out. So once you do it too many times, that just breaks off so easily. It becomes so fragile. So like Bob said, condition, and then what condition some more. But don't. I see somebody said to use a 50 activator. Oh, please don't use a 50 activator. 2 minutes could make a difference of you going like this and having a handful of hair. Take the time, and like Bob said, take at least a week in between. I know it looks funny sometimes, like mine. It gives you that orange look the first
Yeah.
time. I don't. It doesn't become white, um, but I've learned to live with it, and people I know expect it, and it's worth it because then I have a full white beard, and you still have to get all the, everything done during the season. You still have hair growth. You're
Mhm.
talking 2 months. I still get a half-inch more hair by the time the season's done. So you have to have that in. But man, Bob, that is you had a, and I never knew about the sweet and low. That it's a cool thing. I never knew I heard that before. That's
Yeah, if you get the little blue mixing bowls that you can buy at Sally's or any beauty supply, I think even Walmart has them. They're a little small mixing bowl, and we use 3, 4 package of sweet and low per mixture. It's amazing how it takes the burn and the tingle and the sensation away.
So you do
I
that
don't know
after
how.
the bleaching.
Add it to your solution.
Oh,
I use a
solution.
20 lip. I use the little bottle of pre-treat oil
Yeah,
mixed in with the sweet and low. And something I did not mention, you mentioned 50 lift. I use a 20 lift.
20.
Uh, yeah, I would rather leave it on a little bit longer at a slower pace and try to speed it up, like you said. In 2 minutes can make the difference of your beard falling out or your hair falling out. But I use an accelerator that Ion makes. It's a one-step accelerator, and it actually is not harmful like the 50 lift would be, and it helps make the process go quicker as far as the leaching process. Again, your hair and your beard, especially your beard, is tube-like. It's like a straw. It has a hollow center, and inside of that center is, from what I understand, keratin is the color, and it helps draw that out of there. And as you say, condition helps fill that back in and make that tube whole again without it, breaking and being hollow and brittle. So everything we mentioned is important. I always recommend going to a professional hair care stylist, someone who has done it, not someone who's just starting out or someone that thinks they know how to do it. You want to make sure you get a good reference, find out. And I went to my Sally's, local Sally's, and they referred me to a woman that was across the street at one of the salons. Said she'd been doing it for 15, 20 years and bought all her product from them, and they knew her well, and a couple of them had used her, and they recommended her. And my first 3 times when I started out, I went to her. My wife went with me. She watched the process, and then we started doing it at home.
Yeah,
But
because it
again,
can add up.
baby steps.
It can add up.
Yeah, baby steps. I would rather do it 4 or 5 times to get the whiteness I want than to try to rush through it 1 or 2 times and create damage. So,
Right. Definitely, because we know we can't grow one back. Your hair's gone. You can't grow it back. You better have a designer beard up on the shelf someplace ready to go for that gig tomorrow.
plan
And
B,
sometimes
plan
they're
B.
expecting a real bearded Santa, and that doesn't work. So
That's
we
and as
that's
Randy mentioned, that's why you start early in case you do have a little bit of problem. You still have a little bit of time to recover. And if in case you don't get the look or the color that you're going for, some guys like a grayer, a silver uh, look. Some guys add back in color to give it a kind of a gray or silvery sheen to it, which is fine. Speaking of sheen and shine, Jessica Rosa, when you go to her to do her photos, she gives you the option of actually adding texture and color back into your beard and hair in
wow.
the editing process.
Oh, that's cool.
I bleached and bleached and bleached and got as white as I could get to go do my professional photos with her. Got my photos back and I was silver gray. So, but she explained why, and after looking at it, I liked what she gave me. But
And so
you work
sometimes I
so hard to
notice if
get
you're
white.
too white, it'll match your collar. So your beard kind of, especially in photos, some photos you lose
Yes,
your beard in your collar, in your
absolutely.
fur. Or it's vice
So that
versa. Your collar's snow white and your beard, wait a minute, it doesn't look as white as the snow because the collar's so snow white. So, but it
and
is
that's why the off color furs have become so popular in the last few years
Yeah.
with the different streaks and colors of grays and things. Of course, you can ask anyone who does suits; they have that fur available. And or now the trend is the color suit with no collar at all. That
Wow.
way, you don't have that. You just have the
Yeah.
buttons and no collar as
Yes.
far as fur goes.
And like Bob
All
said
those things that you can do.
about like ask your local friend Santa. You have a local group or whatever. Ask them who they do, and somebody in your group can connect you if you're a new Santa. Can connect you to
And
somebody that does it.
if you happen to be coming to Branson, Spangle will have a fresh supply of Heidi suits in his store, and she
Mm.
has really gotten in big on the different colors of the fur. She's got some that are lightly textured in different colors. She's got some that are, just totally opposite of what you would think of that really look good. Especially he's had a couple in recently that were green instead of red that had the darker wolf style type of fur that has the grays and the blacks and things all streaked in it. Absolutely gorgeous. Love them, love, love them. All right, Randy, let's talk about this magical prop challenge that you've got going on here. We kind of threw this out to everyone last week to take Randy's challenge. Prop and backstory short is what we're calling it. Find anything. I don't care what it is. Find a stick. If you want to make a story out of a stick, a stick. But come up with some type of prop. Build you a little short backstory to it. Submit it to Randy. He's going to pick a couple of them. Uh, the winners we're going to bring on the Monday show and let you tell folks, about your backstory and your prop. We
It's
just
just a
think it'd
good
be fun.
exercise. It's just a good exercise to get the mind thinking about what we can do. And it was a
Yes.
great Bob idea. I have to admit, I got to applaud Bob for thinking of that on the spot. So cool. But yeah, just grab a prop. Like I said, I thought of that with the little sponge ball. It's another big deal. But just make a little routine. Like I said, I got one in already. Got one. I am to me fantastic prop, and so we're gonna go a couple more weeks. We're gonna get a few more in, and we're gonna decide. We're gonna like Bob said, we're gonna have him on the show and show the routine. I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Show and tell. I like show and tell.
More to learn. I love learning.
All right. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Let's see what Ernie put in here. Uh, Ernie says he has a green suit from Heidi and waiting on a red one. I gotta say, man, those Heidi suits are so pretty. She does such phenomenal work, and the green one has really caught a lot of folks' eye. Of course, Bill Dindy here in North Texas that has his company. You've all seen Eric and Moesha with the white suits on. Those are phenomenal. You can get those with a little bit different color fur on them, which will make them stand out even more. But yes, fantastic. But again, if you're coming to Branson, Spangle will have a fresh supply of Heidi suits. So looking forward to that. Uh, that's right, the Tuesday Night Live show at the Tuesday Night Live show 1225. That way you can watch us on the big screen. We've got it going on our big screen right now, today's show, correct? We've got swag available, working on here soon after we get away from Branson. We're going to start working with Rhonda and Michael and get some Monday swag going. So that's something else to look forward to. Visit Fancy Lee's, that's FANCYLEES.com, and see what you like over. Got some cool ornaments, license plates, magnets, pretty cool stuff working over there right now. All right, Randy, you got anything to add to anything that we've talked
I
about?
just want to thank everybody again. I'm just always just so impressed with everybody and so thankful for everybody that they're here. And again, don't forget, check us out on YouTube. We need the clicks. Subscribe. Watch the show on YouTube. Just let it run while you're in the shower. Let it run, whatever, because you have to let it run for such a length of time to make sure it runs into the YouTube algorithm. Is that the right word? So just
Got
let
it.
it run but click the like because that'll help and click to subscribe. But there's so many things you can, go back and look at again, especially Tuesday Night Live too. Oh man,
And,
the stuff you can learn.
and our favorite S word.
The favorite F word is well, somebody put down the favorite PH word.
Well,
PHREE.
there you go. Well,
There
the
you go.
favorite S
But that's
word
still my favorite F word. Free, and where's the
and
sign?
the favorite
Free. Woo-hoo!
the favorite S word is share.
Share.
Share that helps
Share.
get it out there for more folks to see, and maybe they'll take a liking to what we're doing and drop in and join us. And yes, we've got our big screen in the living room going on today's show. That's a view. Angela has it going on their big screen in their room. That's a view. So that's how we're trying to, do whatever we can to get the views up, get the content out there, so we can help build both these shows
I'll have to
because we
put it out
really
in
think they're
here.
worthy. We think they're worthy. We wouldn't do this if we didn't think we were doing some good for somebody. If it's just one little small tidbit that you pick up from each show, just think over the course of a season what that's going to do for your portrayal and your confidence. Everything over the course adds up at the end, and maybe it'll make a difference. All right, Randy, fantastic show, man. Love you as always. Keep up the good work. Get you some rest. I know you're tired from the weekend. It's just a handful of weeks till Branson, and that's going to be another one of those.
I don't know. I got the grandson again too. Boy, a 12-year-old running around the house.
Yeah, well, hog time.
I got a lot of duct tape. It's
Fantastic. We want to thank everyone for joining us today. And you know what? We're out of here. See you
thanks,
next
guys.
Monday.
Stay
See you
safe.
tomorrow night. Thanks, everyone.